Howdy, this is PhantomStrider. Let's talk about the most meticulous, painstaking, and strange animation style in the world. Claymation, aka stop motion. Claymation fascinates me as it's so ridiculously hard to make that it doesn't just take artists to make. It takes insane artists willing to put immeasurable hours and money into their oddball experiment. To put it in perspective, stop motion has been around for half a century, yet there's barely been 40 movies ever made using it. That is how difficult it is to make one of these. Sometimes that artist's hard work and dedication results in a mysterious, yet unforgettable experience for the viewer. Other times we get awkward embarrassments that bring the viewers shudders and concerns about the creator's remaining sanity. So let's check out the top 3 best and worst claymation movies. And as I mentioned, some of these movies take years of careful planning and dedication to make. So please understand, for most of these movies, I greatly respect the dedication and time the creators put into making these. Anyway, on to the countdown.
Everybody scream!
The third worst claymation movie is the Gumby movie. Oh, they did it alright. They actually made a Gumby movie. And it manages the impossible, to be even more awkward and bizarre than the original.
Did a car hit you?
It just shows you that to borrow money is dangerous.
While it's important to recognize the progress Gumby made towards creating the claymation genre in animation, this movie just had nothing to give. Unless you get particular joy from watching Gumby leap up and down and turn into funny shapes for 90 minutes. Which is entirely possible, I don't judge you if you do. For a Gumby movie, the story's just listless and tired. It's somehow a less exciting story than one of his 4-minute shorts. Gumby sets up a new band called the Clayboys with Claybert and Fatbuckle. Who is coming up with these names? And the evil blockheads try to disrupt Gumby's benefit concert. To be honest, I had no problem with the 80s Gumby. I really enjoyed it in 4-minute segments at 6 years old. Because that's the ideal time for Gumby to slide around on screen. 4 minutes. Because frankly, while I like Gumby for what he is, he and his friends are very one-dimensional. And this doesn't transfer well to a 90-minute big screen movie. The walls he walks through are more complex than him.
He will walk through the wall if you want him to.
And with all respects to Delars McKinnon, these voices have not aged well.
Thin Buckle and Fat Buckle, come here a minute. Is it settled? We have benefit concerts?
But as clumsily and badly as Gumby fits into a 90-minute movie, I don't hate it because I like Gumby too much. And as awkward and meandering as the story is, I like some of the creative visuals in it. We even get to meet Gumby's girlfriend, Tara. But 4 minutes of Gumby's awkward dialogue was all I needed. A 90-minute listless, dull Gumby movie, it's just, it was a drag. And the third best claymation movie is Fantastic Mr. Fox. As uncanny and terrifying as I still think these faces look. Ugh. Despite that though, jeebus, the delivery of these characters.
Will you join me?
I will.
Fox has this gentle, experienced air of deep integrity that just puts me on his side in an instant. Yet it's covered by a beautiful bite of self-referential comedy to leave you both laughing and thinking.
Just buy the tree. Okay.
I'm conflicted on this by the faces, but I just have to call this among the best stop motions. I'd be a fool to not recognize the relatable characters. That earnest attempt to get Roald Dahl's work exactly right on the big screen. A bit like Zootopia, Fantastic Mr. Fox conveys this deep sense of humanity to each animal. Like, even though we're just looking at a fox and a badger, I also feel like we're looking at 2 middle-aged men discussing real-world societal challenges. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a hidden gem that is a must-see.
Still painting thunderstorms, I see.
Do you still feel poor?
Less so.
And I personally think the second worst claymation movie is James and the Giant Peach. I'm sorry, I just don't fully understand why this one is a cult classic.
I can't even remember what fun is.
Well,
that's just because you've been stuck here too long.
I personally thought it was ugly and clumsily inconsistent with its main story. And the dialogue is just fiercely awkward. The whole thing just feels forcefully whimsical to me.
Wonderful, that's the life for me.
All Roald Dahl's subtlety and darkness is gone, replaced with forceful whimsy. Forceful whimsical that is just shoved down our throats.
We're family. We're family. Love.
For example, the rhinoceros.
An angry rhinoceros appeared out of nowhere and gobbled up his poor mother and father.
I mean, animals appearing out of nowhere. That's just like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Randy Newman's horrible songs, the forced British accents, the childish Play-Doh design. I don't even like James. He feels like every wide-eyed, innocent, adventurous boy stereotype ever written. And the music. Seriously? We had to go with Randy Newman?
Hot noodles made of poodles on a slice of garden hose.
You ditched the insanely talented Danny Elfman from freaking Avengers for this?
Hot noodles made of poodles on a slice of garden hose.
Unlike a film like Coraline or Zootopia or Inside Out, there's no underlying bite of reality or bleakness to James's world. The whole thing's just this painfully idyllic sugar job that just makes me roll my eyes. And the second best claymation movie is Mary and Max. A simple yet emotionally resonating story. What a surprise out of my home country.
People like to believe in God because it answers complicated questions, like where did the universe come from? Do worms go to heaven? And why do old ladies have blue hair?
Do you get the noblets in America?
As the title implies, the story is about Mary, an 8-year-old girl in Australia, who pen pals with Max, a 44-year-old man with Asperger's in New York, and their 22-year pen pal friendship spans over the entire movie. This is what I'd call a mindful movie. None of the characters, including Mary or Max, are specifically judged as good or bad. They simply are, and it's simply observing their worlds. And it's all done with a mild sense of warmth and affection to it. And it's brutally honest, not shying away from discussions of alcoholism, obesity, kleptomania, loneliness, and the personal challenges of being on the autism spectrum. Max is simply a superb depiction of Asperger's. Abed and Max are the best depictions of Asperger's I've ever seen in modern media. While many depictions of autism are over the top and dramatized in modern media.
She thinks that I should put myself out there and find someone to have sex with.
This one is honest and frank about it. It's like they actually talked to a person with Asperger's before writing it.
I do not feel disabled, defective, or a need to be cured. I like being an Aspie. It would be like trying to change the color of my eyes.
As a fellow Aspie, I can completely agree with Max on this. Many don't see it as a disorder, it's just a different wiring of the brain. Some of us love who we are and wouldn't change it for the world. Mary and Max is perfectly paced, perfectly acted and narrated. And before we get to the number ones, just a couple of quick honourable mentions. Coraline, of course. I really considered adding this creepy little classic in claymation, but since Doug and I already chatted about it in Creepiest Animated Movies, I decided to leave it off the list. Wallace and Gromit. I'm doing the claymation industry a disfavour by not at least mentioning Wallace and Gromit. Even though I'm not personally a fan of this goopy, dopey animation style, I have no justification for it. That's purely personal aesthetics. And frankly, if they didn't exist, we would have even less claymation than we already do. Anyway, on to the number ones. And by far, the number one worst claymation movie is Hell and Back. According to Dante, on the 9th level of Hell, Lucifer continually flaps his wings, eternally freezing people. Though I suspect there's an even deeper level where the big red guy has a copy of Hell and Back on DVD that he just plays on loop over and over. That would possibly be a worse punishment. I mean, seriously, this movie is really bad.
I'm so scared my just its pants.
It's clumsy, it's stupid, it's confused, its script is just meandering. It feels like they just made the story up as they went along. And not only that, but all the characters are mean-spirited, joyless, and dull. I mean, the two main characters, Kurt and Remy, are callous, uncaring, cruel. They even make Family Guy's characters look compassionate by comparison. But what stuck with me the most of all was how flimsily stupid the plot is. Kurt gets sent to hell because he took a mint from Remy and promised to pay it back with a blood oath, then just didn't have the mint. And basically the devil spends a movie just sporadically jumping between being nice and then acting like a twit.
No, you don't get to see any more of my art. There's your first punishment in hell.
And there's endless forceful adult jokes of the worst kind.
No used condoms to step on.
All I have to say is use condoms. That in itself is all of the movie you need to see to know what a hunk of bile this is. It feels like a bunch of teenagers just trying to be edgy by swearing profusely or listing off every sex joke they can think of. And it's all done with hideous visuals. Like, there is no saving this claymation. You could at least tell Gumby had a lot of heart behind it. Even if there was a low budget, you could tell there was a painstaking amount of care of what Art Clokey was putting onto screen. This had a much higher budget, but obviously no one cared how it looked, how it sounded, how it felt, as long as it's raunchy. This movie soils a creative reputation of literally every other stop-motion movie ever made. It's cheap, it's thoughtless, it's cruel, it's lazy, it's just writing of the worst kind. Hell and Back isn't just the worst claymation of all time. It falls into the category of some of the worst animated movies of all time. And the number one best claymation movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is the claymation I remember the most vividly. Even if I don't remember the story exactly, the visuals, the ambience, and Jack himself are just vivid to me. The Halloween Town opening left such an impact for setting the scene and the ambience and the style that I remember it from when I was 6. Every new Halloween resident we see, from zombies to werewolves to giant cloaks filled with worms.
Now look what you've done!
Captures the imagination and brings the dark town of Halloween to life. Every part of it is designed to give off a little bit of spook, but kind of a friendliness at the same time. Nightmare Before Christmas still has a massive following over 20 years after its original release, because this is the most powerful claymation experience we've had in theaters.
I am the Pumpkin King! And I just can't wait until next Halloween!
The songs are catchy as well, and each one of them just pops and works. Jack's a fun and well-meaning creative, always trying to come up with new ways to improve his passion, Halloween. And he's likable in how well-meaning he is. And his design is so memorable that you can find it on handbags to this day. Hell, many people just think of this song when they think Halloween. And his journey leads us through this bleak but so thrilling and likable world, with the dark colors of Halloween contrasting with the bright, beautiful colors of Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas captures the way I think Halloween should be. Unlike a horror, it's not about disempowering the viewer and making them feel scared or helpless. It's about exploring and celebrating the concepts we find creepy, weird, and wonderful. It may look bleak, but we know we're welcome. I personally consider Nightmare Before Christmas the number one best stop-motion claymation.
'Cause I've got some new ideas that will really make them scream, and by God, I'm really going to give it all my might!
Except for maybe number one. It's obvious that every one of these movies is a project of passion that took heart and soul and dedication from its creators. When you put a stop-motion movie together, the effort required is simply immeasurable, and almost all of them have contributed in some way to keeping the world of stop-motion alive. And if you think I missed a particularly good or bad claymation, feel free to leave your own thoughts in the comments below. Or if you did like or didn't like these movies, I'd love to hear your own reasons. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for staying to the end. I don't normally ask people to subscribe, so I just appreciate your company this far. I've started doing the occasional product placement with companies I like, but just so you know, these are companies I trust, and I would never promote anything to you that I don't personally condone. Thank you for watching and being such a great support to the channel. Have a great day.